What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for another daily news video after a very good weekend for Juve. Obviously we won, we did what we had to do. Then you also have Bologna dropping points, big points against Atalanta. Funnily enough, I am in Bologna, which makes it a bit better. And then you have Lazio against Roma picking up only 1 point each, which obviously goes a very long way for our situation in a top 4 race. Apologies for the lighting. Yeah, it's horrible, but I cannot do anything about it right here in this hotel room. Anyways, it's a massive weekend for us and a good setup, for Parma, Monza, and obviously back-to-back Lazio and Bologna away. We should be in an ideally good position going into those games, probably with others dropping even more points, who knows? But we need to pick up those 6 points, and then you need to finish the job back then, because you also have Venezia away from home. We're fighting relegation on the final day, which is never a good place to go against these teams. Anyways, in this video, not about that. It's about Gatti and the kind of crazy turnaround, I'm gonna say, because right now Gatti is almost being told to pack his bags and kind of leave in the summer, which was not certain months ago. Remember, September, October, it's a done deal. He's gonna sign a new deal and it's gonna get announced very soon. And then it's gonna get announced in January. And now it's like talks are not really going that well because the club is very open in letting Gatti go. And I know it's a touchy subject because a lot of people do like Gatti, but I think a lot of people do like Gatti because of our current situation. That's what I want to talk about. So before we do that, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Gatti. Because if you look at our backline in general, going into next season, with or without Gatti, it's not good enough. That's the reality. For a top Juve team, it's not good enough. Let's be completely real for 1 second right here, because if everybody's fit and no injuries occur, basically, Bremer is the only top central defender we have. But we don't know in which capacity he's coming back. So that's an argument to say, well, keep Gatti then, because quote unquote a certainty. We don't know what Cabal, how he's coming back. We don't know how Cambiaso's future is going to look like. Kelly's going to stay because we're going to get a European spot, and Kalulu's probably going to stay because he's cheap and the club will buy him. We don't know if Savona's going to be here. We don't know if Vega's going to be here. We want to keep Vega, but who says we can find a deal with Chelsea? So Alberto Costa, probably not going to be here. Are we going to keep using Timothy Weah in those positions? I don't know, depending on the coach, depending on the formation. So the Gatti one is very interesting. Now, if I think about a top Juve team and a top back line, which is the goal, right? Like we should be going back to those situations, then there's no room, in my opinion, for a lot of these players. Bremer is the only top player, and Cambiaso is a player who has top potential, but is a bit hot and cold at times, So that's not even a certainty as well, in my opinion. That being said, you obviously need a squad. Now, you got Kelly, you're not going to get money for Kelly. You got Kalulu, you're not going to get massive money for Kalulu. In a crazy idea, you buy him and you sell him. So these players are going to be here. Bremer is going to be here. Ideally, Cambiaso is going to be here. That's what I'm trying. Savona, ideally, is not going to be here. Alberto Costa, probably is not going to be here. Vega, it's a toss-up, but I don't think anyone believes that Vega is a top potential player at this moment in time. I think he's a very good player. I don't see top potential, in my opinion. Now, my point is, the only player who can bring in money from those positions is Federico Gatti, because apparently teams want him. Now, we can discuss a lot of things about Gatti. My issue is, every time I start a debate about Gatti, the first thing people bring into the mix is like, he shows passion. Now, my thing is, the moment you need to say a player shows passion to start a debate, he's not good enough for this club, because those are the bare minimum things. I want the players to show passion if we are playing Empoli in the cup. If we are playing, I don't know, Salernitana in the cup. Like, it's the bare minimum. Right now, we can talk about passion to get us over the line, to get the bare minimum in a horrible season. But a team that competes, showing passion is not should not be a debating point, should not be something we come on post game and it's like he showed passion, we show passion. No, that's just what comes with playing for this club. What playing football does, basically showing passion. It's the bare minimum. That's where it starts, showing passion, and then it goes tactics, ability, all those things. You know, passion is just like, it's not a talent, showing passion. It's just caring about the club, about the fans, about your career, whatever. You know, that's not something we should big up, you know, if that makes any sense. So that's that. I don't think Gatti is a scrub. I don't think he should be playing for a team like Udinese and mid-table teams. I'm not saying that. I think he can be a player for a top six team, not the top two, especially not. Starting games. He has very good moments, he has very iffy moments, and people are happy to discard the iffy moments because of the passion things. I'm not that. I want, are you good enough quality-wise? Are you a player that I know I can trust, who's just clearly better? Like Bremer, when he was fit, he was one of the best center backs in Europe. Gatti is not even one of the best center backs in Italy, if that makes sense. He's a good one, but he's not one of the best. If we want to be the best again, that should be the aim. And yes, you cannot, in our situation, you cannot have one of the best in every single position. We're too far off. I understand that. But if there's an opportunity to do that early on already, you should be doing that. Now, that being said, if you get money for Gatti and you piss it around and you're like, we buy Vega and that's about it, that's horrible business. You know, that I do agree on. Depending, again, the formation, coach, what he wants, so on, so on. That I 100% agree, you know, that should not be the case. That cannot happen. So that's that. But if you get a good offer for Bremer, for Gatti, the club will consider it. 100% they will consider it. And actually, they should be considering offers for every single player. The only player that we should not be considering an offer for is, well, obviously Bremer, you know, but, you know, you get the situation. Yildiz, unless it's like something insanely where you're like, yeah, we can rebuild an entire team with it, with our situation. But like, those are kind of the only players. Thuram, I think, is one of those players where I'm like, you got him on a cheap, and he is proven to be a player that you can use for like 10 years if everything goes well, you know, and he can be one of the best out there. So those, like, there's only a few players where I'm like, you cannot lose these guys, you know, because these are like Di Gregorio on goal, Bremer at the back, Thuram in midfield, Yildiz in the attack. Like, you need to build some sort of spine, you know. Those are a couple of pieces who are like, no, we don't listen to any offers, you know. For the other players, even the players I like Locatelli, for example, you know. If an offer comes in that's very good, you consider it, you know. Like, that's just how it goes in this sport, you know. So, yeah, Gatti, uncertain future right now. So let me know in the comments what you would think. Let's say an offer comes in of 35 million euros for Gatti. Should we take it or should we walk away from it? And then, I don't know, use funds we should be using for our attack, which also needs massive overhaul this summer, and let the backline be what it is. Let me know in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow again, but not from Bologna, but from Siena. Ciao.